Howdy y'all, this is Kyle again for another video. Yay! Feels really nice outside right now. When I walked to my car earlier, it's like my thermometer at least is saying 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Holy crap, it feels so good just walking outside, not having my face hurt. I love it. It also smells a little smoky outside. I wonder if we're getting something from the Californian fires. I don't know about the temperature being so warm, but it smells like a barbecue, so I ain't complaining. But man, when it's warm outside, I just feel so much happier. I absolutely hate winter so much. It's my least favorite season. So depressing, especially here in Utah. Right now, we got an inversion going on in this valley, it looks like. Meaning, so okay, you're in a valley, right? Think of it as like a bowl. And I don't know if it's warm air, cold air, whatever, different air temperature kind of traps the different, how to explain? Okay. I'll say warm air above the bowl traps all the cold air inside of the bowl. It also traps the pollution and all that stuff. And so the sky is very gray. I wonder if I can just show you. It's probably hard to see actually up here. But yeah, the sky is either just white or actually it's more gray than white. And the mountains do look a bit blurry, so that's a little foggy here. And yeah, you can smell more pollution. Maybe that's what I'm smelling, but I bet it's from California. Because we got that last time they had a big fire. And it's kind of depressing. Although, I absolutely love fog. I have no idea why. I must be a freak of some sort because, I don't know, I just like the fog when it's like really foggy and I'm not driving. I feel like maybe because of all the extra moisture in the air, it's super quiet, kind of like when it's snowing, it's very quiet outside. Feels kind of peaceful, and I like how eerie everything is. But driving in it sucks. Oh yeah. I would avoid that if I can. Speaking of which, unrelated, it's just something I thought of earlier. Memory. I kind of want to talk about memory. I know some people with very good long-term memory. Others with good short-term memory. But let's say you have bad short-term memory and good long-term memory. If your short-term memory is bad, can you rely on your long-term memory? Because at one point that was short-term. I don't think I'm understanding how memory works and how it's formed. But what I do know is memory is malleable. It can change over time. Maybe your brain maybe it's traumatic, or honestly, if it's just a normal thing, I think some details can be lost over time. But I learned that in my major, that you can't always 100% rely on the victim's testimony of something. Give it some leeway to what they're talking about when they kind of reconstruct what the crime it was or what happened. And same for eyewitnesses, memory can change over time. And if you kind of provide them an answer, they might become biased towards it. Like, I can't remember what it's called. like a lineup or something. Like, let's say you have like 10 suspects for a certain crime. They line up 10 people they found. You're probably going to think that at least, one of them has to be the guy. That's bias right there. It doesn't have to be any of those people. But when we get that, maybe our memory shifts. It's like, oh yeah, it's definitely that guy. I remember him. And it could not be. I'm trying to remember, like, my earliest memory, I think I was 4 and I was yelling in the garage. I literally yelled, I'm 4. I don't know why I remember that. It's kind of dumb, but that's my earliest memory. Some people remember like when they're born. I know it's some kind of weird condition, but that's weird. Other people have oh, this is interesting. So I can picture images in my head, like most everyone can. So I'm average with that, and same as audio, I can think in my head. But I'm a bit weaker with the images. Like, I'll think of an image, like an apple, and I have to expend more effort keeping the apple in my head. I know, I learned about how it's weaker for me because I did like a exercise with someone where you get a couple numbers and you picture the numbers in your head. And I think a lot of people do that. When they remember a number, they visualize it. I don't visualize it. I just kind of repeat it in my head over and over, and I lose it fast. But if you can visualize it, holy crap, yeah, that's easier to remember. So I think it'd be fun to boost my short-term memory. I bet memory is probably a nature versus nurture kind of situation, but I believe you can always train most everything and be better at it. Whether you have a disadvantage in it or not, you can always improve. Unless it's arm wrestling and you have no arms, obvious things. There's exceptions. But yeah, problem is I never remember to improve my memory. I also wonder, do I want to? Do I care enough? Is it a problem? I have other things I want to work on. I want to get better at video editing. I want to get better at making music, at drawing even. Heck, I need to go back to my language study and study up on Tagalog some more. Do I want to add another thing on my plate? I don't think so. But it would be nice. And now I feel like I'm telling myself no and I can't do it. That's not a good thing. If you want to go for a career that you love, but people tell you probably not the best way to make money and all that, would you pursue it or would you not? I said no to myself too many times in my life. And I've pursued things that I didn't fully want to, or that I believed I would like it later down the line. I always thought, like, if I get fired per se, like, let's say, I get fired, laid off, whatever, what would I do? I have very little expenses. I can take a break. Taking a break for no reason's mostly a bad thing unless you're burnt out, but if you can afford taking a break to learn skills and stuff, why not? Maybe that's what I would do if I got fired right now. Give myself a schedule. I always fantasize about random things like this. It's not a waste of time, it's just me thinking to myself. It's like I'm making backup plans in different scenarios, so I don't have to think as hard when the time comes. And I think that's important. Like for kids, you gotta tell them to say no to drugs before they're asked that question. Because then if they never thought about it and why they don't want to take drugs, yada yada, they're gonna have to think, and they'll probably fall under peer pressure. But if they know and understand it beforehand, they already said no to their minds that they're not gonna take drugs, the peer pressure won't be as strong. It'd be a lot easier to reject that. And then drugs is just an example. You can probably apply to whatever thing you want. Maybe you like going to the gym. You got to convince yourself that you are going to the gym. And go. And don't think too hard why. Then you'll most likely go. I feel like I'm contradicting myself. You want to think of why, of the benefits and all that. But you don't want to give your time to justify not going when you're on your way out the door. That's what helped me with consistency. Yeah.